Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be discussing the recent news this week about the London Stock Exchange exploring how to encourage SPACs in the UK. If you don't know, a SPAC is a special purpose acquisition company, and they've been big in the US this year. Obviously lots of big name companies in the US have gone public with a SPAC this year. Nikola, last year you had Virgin Galactic, Palantir this year. Things like that. And this year alone, there's been $48 billion raised in the US via SPACs. And they look for private companies to merge with. Generally, new, exciting startups. A lot of these companies this year have had absolutely no revenue. In some cases, not even any product. And London's never been a particularly hot place for IPOs. And this is really the London Stock Exchange trying to break into a new market, although to be fair, SPACs have been around since the 1980s. They've only got popular in the last few years, but they're really looking to jump into it to encourage it. Now, I'm not sure on the current rules whether it's technically possible to do it this way. It certainly probably couldn't be listed on the main exchange. Might have to be AIM listed. They're just looking for ways to really jump on the bandwagon to, get some of that money that has been booming in the US for this market. Now, if you can look here on this this graph from the FT, just showing the amount that SPACs have increased in the US and how there's been nothing similar in the UK. So you can see the FT article here says that they're tarnished after high-profile failures post-financial crisis back in 2008. Now in the UK, it's a little bit different. You can read this FT article. I'll leave it in the description if you're interested. But for me, there's something completely wrong about this. If you look at this Bloomberg article, these companies often don't have revenue, let alone profit. And already this year, we've seen evidence of these companies being fraudulent. Nikola goes public, it rallies like crazy because it's an electric car company or hydrogen car company, and people love the stock, and boom, fraud claims come up. That's just the kind of thing that you get with these kind of vehicles, unless research is done properly, rather than attracting the next big thing. Obviously, for the purchasers, for the creators of that SPAC that brought Nikola public, it was great at the beginning. It rallied massively, hundreds of %, I believe. But it has come crashing back down. And the reason for that is because they don't necessarily do the amount of due diligence on a company that you get when it goes public. When you IPO, there's a huge process, especially in the UK, it's even more stringent. And you don't get that when they merge like this. They're just looking for something that they can market, that they can sell, that they think is going to pop and make them money. See here, other ones, this article is a little bit old, so Lordstown Motors Group, I believe that's now public. But again, no revenue, no commercial production until second half of next year. I'm just not sure this is the kind of company we should be encouraging to list in the UK. These are not your typical developed company. They are they're effectively, in some ways, venture plays. You're betting on these companies being successful. You don't know if they will be yet. Same with Virgin Galactic. You buy into a SPAC. Obviously, that's rallied quite a lot this year. I believe it's up more than the market. And it's just not a business yet. It's an idea. They're all just ideas. From Nikola to, that's been proven this year more than most, that it was a bunch of ideas. There's not a lot of actual proof behind those ideas, those concepts. Yet it went public via a SPAC. I just don't think this is the kind of thing we want to bring into the UK market. They're designed to profit the people developing the SPACs and then to sell those onto investors. It doesn't help investors in any way. Not to mention the fact that why would you want to buy into a SPAC, knowing full well that you have very little control, especially in the UK, on whether you can vote for whether that company is accepted, in the merger, what company it's going to be. Like, it's just a total roll of the dice. You're effectively playing the lottery. You're not investing at that point. Now, you might come out with what looks like a winner, like Nikola originally. You see, that's just not long-term good. I mean, if you can get these kind of companies that go public, investors buy into them and they look really good, but then eventually it turns out they're fraudulent, they've got elements of fraud, they're just not a viable business. They've just gone public because they look good, and that's effectively what you've got. This train of electric vehicle companies, because it's a hot topic, not because they're good businesses necessarily. I'm not saying they're not, but they're not necessarily good businesses. It's just a hot topic. So yeah, for me, I just don't think this is something that the LSE should be getting into at all. We don't need more SPACs in the UK. Even if they did want to do it, I'm not sure this is a topic for the LSE to be debating on. That's really for the regulators. And you know what? I mean, this article is a little bit misleading, like blank check companies are booming in the US, but the UK is being left behind. We don't have to take everything from the US. We don't need SPACs. Being left behind in this one regard isn't going to hurt us. It's the hot thing right now. It'll disappear in a few years, I imagine. Just as 10 years ago, they were semi-hot, and then it all went wrong. And you might find that again. You've already found it with Nikola, arguably. So yeah, for me, this is not the right approach for the LSE. This is not something we need. You don't need this kind of gambling company, effectively a gambling system in the UK markets. But yeah, that's just my opinion. And thank you very much for listening. Please watch my other videos, subscribe if you enjoyed, and thank you very much.